Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of autism awareness. So I believe where I left off was talking about Redwood Regional and what a blessing they've been to me since the very moment that my son was diagnosed. They came home, did an evaluation, just went through everything that had to do with him and me and where we're going to go from here. So they had the respite worker, which now my daughter does. He's had like just maybe 2 different people. One was Ruth, who we love to death. She was with him a few years. And one didn't work out so much. So we had to let that person go. And so then my daughter was 18, 19, and they said, hey, do you want to try respite again? Because after the second experience, this person would take him and he would keep him in the car and for hours, and he would go pay his bills, get his tires changed, and he wouldn't do nothing that had to do with my son. And my son had retrieved inside of himself. I knew something was wrong. So he eventually said what happened. We had to let that person go. Seemed to be a nice person in his personality, but it just didn't match his action. So we had to let him go, and I kind of didn't want respite for a while. And then when they talked to me about it again, they said, why don't you have your daughter do it? She is over 18, and what better? Someone that loves him and that you can trust and he can trust, have her apply for it. So she did. She had to do the CPR training and the application, and my son approved it and stuff like that. So she's been his caretaker for a few years now. So she's the one, other than me. Now I go and do a lot for my son. Let's not get it twisted. I take my son so many places and I do so much with him. But while I'm at work or if I'm not feeling good, per se, this is even a more perfect example, then he doesn't miss out. She'll come and she'll watch movies with him. She'll play board games with him. She'll come and cook for him, or on her own time, because now respite has kind of changed where as long as you work on their time, you can only be with him in the house. They don't take them places anymore. And it's such a bummer because that's what I accepted respite for. But okay, she does a lot for him here, and because she still lives here. She won't get married to August. And like I said, she watched movies with him, play board games. She'll help him out in anything in his room. If his computer's not working, if his tablet's not working, needs to be charged, stuff like that. She'll cook for him, stuff like that. And then on her own time, she'll take him to go see movies or go to the park or shopping. Like he likes to buy toys and headphones or things that he may need, his necessity, or, if he wants to order movies from Amazon, she's really technical savvy, so she'll do the ordering for him and stuff like that, which I do as well. I mainly do it, but like I said, when I'm not feeling good, because I do have a few health issues that are not anything bad. I mean, thank God, as of now, all I'm dealing with is arthritis. I have it in my hands, knees, and hips. It's worse like in cold weather. And I have high cholesterol, which I have to keep an eye on and take care of. But other than that, thank you, God, that as of this minute, that's all I have. There's other people that are dying of breast cancer, all kinds of stuff, that God be with them. But so I'm pretty much healthy. But when my knees do hurt, sometimes I need to ice them and lay down. And that's the time where she comes in, and she's just a blessing. And I thank God for her, because it's somebody we love and trust. So that's the respite worker. And it's 20 hours a month. Or she could do 60 hours in 1 month, but it's 60 hours a quarter. So she can split that with 20 hours each month, or all 60 in 1 month, or 30, 40, however she wants to divide it. And then they help me not only with going to the schools and going to the doctors and anything we needed. They were there to help in any form. They had a behavioral specialist. He had 2 good ones. One would come all the way from San Jose, and he really taught me a lot about autism. I can't think of his name. I want to say John, but that might not be correct because it's been many years. And he said, he taught me what colors irritated autistic children, like red and orange are really hurtful. And then he said, blue is a calming color. And he said noises, trains, vacuums, hair cutting, what kind of noises affected him. And he put like a toilet paper tube. And he said, just, if you look at it like this, what do you see? And I say, the palm of my hand. And then he's like, take that away, and what do you see? And I can't explain it totally right now, but you would see how an autistic child sees. And he just helped me. Like, he helped my son to have more eye contact. He would take my son's eyes, he would do that, and bring his eyes towards him so my son would look at him, and it worked. And so he got him to be calm, and he got him to engage more and things like that. And he was with us for a few years, and I learned so much from him. God bless him wherever he is. Then we had another one named Angela. She was a blessing. She not only helped my son, but she helped my other children, and she helped me. She was like a therapist. Like, she would have me go back to my childhood and, helping me. How do I see myself as a little girl? What would my little girl tell myself? So she would give me therapy to make me feel better, to know that I am doing a great job as his mom, that I should be so proud of myself for educating myself and doing so much for autism awareness, and to not be depressed, not be sad, not be doubtful of, nobody sees my hard work, or maybe what I'm doing is not good enough. Maybe I need to do more. So she helped me. And then we had an accident in 2008, and the kids were traumatized, and I was traumatized, and she got us through that. And then I had told her that she had noticed something that I had on the hallway. And what it was is a chart. And I'm going to make it again and show you in another video, because I had taken it down once my daughter, because I had all three of them. I had made this chart, and what this chart consisted of is it had all their names, and it had Sunday through Saturday, and it had on the left-hand side all the stuff that they had to do from beginning of the day to the end, whether it was chores or playtime or TV time or dinner time or take medication time or bath or shower time, homework time. So it had all of these, and I included my kids because I didn't want my kids to feel left out and that it was all focusing on Alexis. And I didn't want them to be excluded because I didn't want Alexis to feel like he was being pinpointed, like something's wrong with me. Why am I the only one on here? And so what I did is every time they did everything that they had to do in that whole day, they would get a star for that day. And then I Velcroed it. It was a simple poster paper, and I bought Velcro, and I bought stars. I bought every kind of symbol and goodie that I could think of. And so they would get a star. At the end of the week, if they got all stars, they could turn it in for a chip. And I had those poker chips. And since it was 3 kids, it was red, blue, and white. And so each kid had their colors. So I would know if one took the others, which I didn't think they would do that, but just in case. And so they could either, at the end of the week, turn that chip into a small prize or wait the whole month and get a big prize. And I'd have this treasure chest, and I loaded it with gifts. It had anywhere from pencils to stickers to books, to toys, fancy straws, movies, oh my God, watches, God, what else? Magazines, coloring books, activity books, just all kinds of goodies from little to big. And so if they turned it in at the end of the week, it would be 1 chip. And so they could turn it in for a little prize, and they dig in there. They couldn't see. They can't, let me pick out of this. So they just dug in their hand in the small prize. And if they wanted, they could wait the whole month and get a bigger prize. And I did this for years. And it made them focus on what they had to do. It kept them organized, and it made them focus on what they had to do, and they had an incentive that they were going to get a prize if they did everything they were supposed to. And it also helped my daughter Diana with her learning disability, because with the learning disability, because the brain destroys information within seconds, it also reminded her, because she had to be visual. She had to be told things over and over, repetitive, repeat. And that was her IEP in school. Reteach, repeat. And so I did the same thing here. And my youngest daughter, she had, for a little bit, she had a learning disability, but hers was like, if she had 10 crayons on the table, she could look at it and say, there's 10. She had to count each one. It was kind of that, and it was a little thing in her speech, but she got the help and it was over with. My other daughter still has her learning disability, and Alexis, of course, is autistic. So I would do this chart. And so one day that behavioral specialist, Angela, came over and she goes, what is this? And so I told her all about it and how the kids were excited and how it made me as a parent focus on the good behaviors versus focusing on the bad behaviors. And she goes, that is amazing. Amazing. Oh my God, you got to share this with other parents. And I'm like, I'd be happy to. I want to share my journey, my everything with other parents so that they don't have to go through and be shocked like I do. I can make it a little bit easier for them. She goes, oh my God, you got to take this to Red Ridge. You got to show up because we are starting to learn something that's going in that direction and you already created it. We weren't the first. You were the first. And so I took it to Redwood Regional, shared it with the people there, and they just were astonished. Like, man, you are something else. And so I said, yeah, as a autistic mom, you have to be 10 steps ahead. You have to be prepared as possible. I mean, nothing's perfect. I mean, I have my sad moments. I have it where I think I'm going to pull my hairs out because I just want it to be perfect. And I want everything to go smooth. And when things are not getting done like I like them to be done so he could be the happiest person on earth, it just like I get frustrated and emotional. But I pull myself together. Stop. Okay. I went through the motion, which you need to allow yourself to go through those emotions and frustrations. But you pull yourself together and go, I breathe, and here I am again. I'm in my zen. So, yeah, so it was interesting. I was constantly creating. My brain was just going on and on. And the first few years was hard because, granted, when he was diagnosed, I was going to beauty college full time in the day, and I was working at night at JCPenney's, and I was coming home to stay all up through the night with him, not, trying to figure out how to make him happy and comfortable. And I don't know how I made it through, but perseverance, is that the word? Or just my determination to be, to do my passion, because I was always good with hair and makeup, and it was my passion to fulfill that passion, that goal, and to be the best mom for this autistic blessing that I had. And so, I guess when you love something that much, you pull through. And so that was that. And he didn't become verbal to maybe 5 years old. He started to say words. Deborah Meek was a blessing of a special ed teacher. She taught him. First, he didn't want to interact with other kids. I have videos and pictures of how he was just nonverbal with his head down. They had to make his arms move. But she brought the beauty out in him. He was able to be in plays, doing the little parts that he had. Words just was coming more and more and more to where he started to make sentences and he was able to communicate. And of course, you see my son today is 20 years old. He's tall, thin, handsome with a mustache. And he's come such a long way. With the help of a fierce mom, determined with dedication and love, and then to have all those helps with an amazing teacher. I was blessed with the most amazing teacher, the most amazing medical doctors, the Redwood Regional. I mean, I was just blessed left and right, and so I couldn't be more grateful. And so then now, of course, he talks a lot, and how can I say this? He can communicate very well. You can understand him. His brain goes really fast. So he'll snap, he'll hit his head. He does the snapping because his brain is going too fast and he can't get it out that fast. But he definitely is understandable. He can communicate very well, but you can still at the same time see the autism very clearly. I would say he's emotionally and mentally, even though he is a genius, he can tell you every fact, detail, numeric thing. He can tell you, like, one of his dreams is to go to New York and see the Empire State Building and the Statue of Liberty. He can tell you when it was built, what the weather was like when it was built, how many people it took to build, what day of the week it was built on, how many feet it is, how fragile the top is now. he can tell you everything about history, facts, detailed dates, math, science, everything about dinosaurs, everything about Titanic, everything about trains. I mean, and he has dates. Even when he was little, we noticed it because my daughter had a math problem and he was on the floor playing with a little toy and he said the answer and she's like, Mom, that's the answer. I'm like, what did you say, Alexis? And we did 2 more problems and he wouldn't even look at us. He wasn't even phasing into what we were doing and he would say the answer and it would be right. And then through the years, his science teacher said, I have a degree in science and he knows more than me. And we just begin to learn and see the genius. He's a genius. And the high functioning that he has, like nobody's business. But at the same time, you can very much see autism. He is still in his speech, in his actions, the flapping, the hitting the head, the snapping, the sometimes stuttering, sometimes repeating. He does spinning, dancing, movements in his hands. And he's emotionally and mentally maybe around 7 years old. He plays with little kids' toys. He has a huge movie collection. He likes The Land Before Time. He has everyone. Any movie that you can think of that is about dinosaurs, he has. Every movie about New York, Titanic. He loves the movie Titanic. Space, everything you could think of. And in one of my videos that I'm going to do this month for Autism Awareness is introduce you to my son, introduce you to his room, what his world is like, because his room is his world, what he likes to collect, what he thinks about certain things, what means a lot to him, why does he like his room, why is it his world, and you will get to know him, and there will be a video of an interview with him. And so he likes McDonald's, little toys from the Happy Meal. He likes to play with little toys. So he's about mentally 7. And here you see this tall, he's about 5'6", thin, tall, handsome with a mustache. From the outside, you thought, what a handsome guy, what a normal. You would never think he's autistic because people say he doesn't look autistic. Autism does not have a look, people. It does not have a look. It's not till you're with them for a while. You might see some first looks, like maybe the ones that are nonverbal, like he used to be. You would think, okay, he's 7 and he doesn't speak. Then those are outside things that you might notice. But autism people does not have a look. So when people say he doesn't look autistic, I'm like, well, what is autistic supposed to look like? You don't know he's autistic until you're with him for a while and you're like, And then we will tell you he's autistic. But yeah, it's kind of annoying. But these people don't know. Like when we were told to diagnose, we had never heard of autism. So I tried to be patient with those people and just teach them what autism is, who my son is, and what this is all about, so that they in the future can know, okay, I won't say that again because now I know what it's about. And so, he still has moments of depression and anxiety. He doesn't hit walls. He doesn't hit people. He will hit his own head. Now, when he was little, he did do some of that, where he threw a coffee table at me. And he would hit more so himself, sometimes the bed, stuff like that. So he went through all of the steps that all autistic children go through. He went through it all. We did the helmet on the head so he wouldn't bang his head. We went through all the medications. We went through every step of this journey that you can think possible. And he's come a long way. He's progressed a lot. But autism has no cure. And right now, I'm not really interested in so much looking for a cure, because this is how I feel. If God came back and said, okay, give him back. I'm going to give you a normal, perfect baby boy, and I'll take this one back. Absolutely not. That's how I would say it to God. I love God with all my heart and soul, and he's the ruler, and I have so much respect for God. It's not even funny. But I would tell him that. Absolutely not. I won't trade him for anything in the world. He is my best friend. He's my angel, my hero, my everything. I don't see my life without him. And God must have had his reasons, because sometimes I tell my husband, being that he's 20, right now, if he was normal, he probably would be hanging out, even though I've always raised my kids to have love, gratitude, appreciation, humbleness, to be nice to people, to be respectful to people, to be honest, to be loving. And I have been blessed with the most wonderful children. My children are respectful, are sensitive, are humble. They're grateful. They have a heart of gold. They love school. They love to work. They love to do for other people. They love and respect me and do so much for me and my husband and my son. I mean, I have been blessed. Thank you, Jesus, because I know everybody doesn't have that blessing or that luck, however you want to call it. But, you just never know. Each child is individual. And who knows, with him being a boy at this age, maybe he would be hanging out with the wrong crowd. He could be into drugs. He could be accidentally killed or purposely killed. He could have a really hard life, a really sad life. And I would be right now. In fact, I was telling my husband this the other night. It was 2:00 in the morning. I said, I would be wondering where he was, because he's 20. I couldn't stop him. I can't tell him what to do. I could tell him to respect me in my home. That, I don't care if you're 50. That you're going to do. But he would probably move out. And if he was with the wrong crowd or on drugs, I would be one of those mothers suffering. Even though I'm telling you now, I've told my other children, if you ever decide to get on drugs, you could keep it moving. Because I ain't going to be one of those mothers like on intervention that you're going to bring me down with you. That I'm going to suffer all of my life because you're out there on drug because you choose to be. Because you made wrong choices. I'm not going to be crying and almost having a heart attack and wasting the years I have left of life. Oh my God, she needs help. I would do what I can to help you. But if you